Get back in control with Off the Wagon, adventures in emotional eating, health, and weight loss. Each episode containing fork-sized mindset tweaks, perspective shifts, and lifestyle hacks to get you back on the wagon. Whether it's habit change, emotional eating, addictions, weight loss, willpower, or relationships, there's something here for you. So let's get on the wagon and get down the road to your goals with me, Christy R. Hall. Welcome to episode 19, where today we're talking about the body positivity movement, what it is, what it should be, and whether you can want to release excess weight and still be body positive. And it's been on my mind a lot lately because even with this movement becoming important in the headlines, there are still a lot of fat shamers and body haters everywhere. And one of the things that I've noticed about the world is that no matter how far to the left or to the right the pendulum of opinion swings, there's always an equally excessive and opposite swing. And right now, the world is filled with these counter swing movements. Unfortunately, most of the time, these knee-jerk, in response to movements are rarely what's truly needed in the world and in society either. Most of the time, in my opinion, balance and freedom is what we truly desire. Within the body positive movement, you can find a whole host of people, fitness professionals and coaches, folks espousing that fat's fine, but health at any size. You can also find in these groups the diet haters and what I call diet shamers who embrace intuitive and natural eating. You can also find those people who might be considered fat proud and those who treat food as a hedonic pleasure party in their mouths. They don't always believe that food is good or bad, and likewise, they don't always think that any food is particularly healthy or not healthy. Historically, as a society, we've approached weight loss as if it were a get it done and it's done over kind of thing, meaning once it's done, you're done. Almost as if it were a school or a college that some of us applied to, were accepted into, and then have to graduate from. And we wrongly assume that once we graduate, we never have to go back to school again. We think of it this way because that's easier than thinking that we're going to be dealing with weight and food in some form or fashion for the rest of our lives. And we don't want this, weight loss, emotional eating, and food, to be the battle of our lives. But chances are, if you're here with me now, this, weight loss, emotional eating, food, is already woven into the fabric of who you are. You say you don't want this to be the battle of your life, but it already is. It has been. And so maybe we should probably make peace with the fact that it is. We don't want it to be the battle of our lives because dealing with weight seems so small and so petty, and we feel like we are meant for things so much bigger and so much greater. And perhaps on the surface, emotional eating, weight-related, food-related issues are small and petty. But underneath, the battle for weight is the war of worthiness, the skirmish of self-love and self-compassion and self-acceptance. And all of those battles, those are battles that should not be given up. Those are the keys to life. And if anything, they're probably your purpose and reason for being here, if not for living. And the reason the body positive movement has gained a foothold in our culture is because most people think that the battle with weight is about a battle with the man or the woman in the mirror and how things look. But that is really only a very small portion of the war on weight. But it's easy to pick out and pick on because it's the portion that you see. But there are a laundry list of other issues with weight that, in my opinion, can make it okay to want to get healthier and even lose weight, release weight, or deal with emotional eating and food issues. And I want to be clear, having unwanted weight does not make you a bad person. It does not necessarily mean that you are weak-willed. Having unwanted weight does not mean that you are a useless human or unworthy of love or undeserving of respect or fair and adequate pay, companionship, or compassion. And so, having said that, I think it's important to realize that having excess or unwanted weight may still not be healthy. Excess weight is hard on your body. It makes your heart work harder to move blood around your body. It makes the lungs work harder to inflate to get adequate oxygen. It's hard on the joints and bones that must carry that weight 24/7. Depending on the amount of unwanted weight you have, it could be preventing mobility or hindering flexibility. And that little roll of fat that everyone says is vanity may be uncomfortable as it gets pinched by clothing or chafed. And those flabby bits that hang and get sweaty create a breeding ground for bacteria and rashes and may feel uncomfortable as they lay and rest on each other. And so, sure, it may be a little bit about wanting to look better in the mirror, but it's also about having compassion for yourself and your body and making a conscious choice about what's best for you. You shouldn't have to stay where you are doing what got you where you are just because some movement like body positivity says you should. I think the biggest mistake made in the weight loss industry is the selling of the idea that you'll be perfect or feel better or worthy whenever you lose X amount of weight or get down to a goal weight. Releasing weight may make you happy in the moment, but it won't make your life happier. It won't solve any problems you have with food addiction or interpersonal relationships. It won't really make you more confident or outgoing. Confidence, worthiness, enoughness, these come from inside us, not from what other people outside of us think about us and tell us. Body positivity is, in my opinion, about loving yourself and your body no matter where you are at. Whether you're recovering from an eating disorder, actively trying to put on weight, trying to release weight, or just maintain weight. The body positivity movement should have been an end to the comments and the threats and the opinions of other people on your body. And here's the thing. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. That is absolutely true. But think about it like this. If someone didn't like the car you drove, would you go get another one? Why does someone else's opinion on your Honda Civic or your Ford or your Kia matter? It doesn't. Now think of your body as the vehicle for your soul. This is the vehicle you have, and unlike a Honda, you can't sell it or trade it in. You can, however, make it stronger, healthier. You can make it go faster. You can make modifications. But you'll never turn your soul vehicle into someone else's soul vehicle. And until you leave this world, you're going to be in this vehicle. So, shouldn't you love it? Be grateful, kind and compassionate to it? And honestly, if it's your soul vehicle, shouldn't your opinion on it be the most important? So then the question becomes this. if this is your vehicle and you get to keep it all of your life, what are the things you want for it? You may say health, but what does your model of health look like? You may say you want to look better, but what does that actually look like? One of the best ways I've found to separate what I actually want from what society and my parents and my friends and other people tell me that I should want is to think of myself on an island in the middle of the ocean all by myself, with no one else, no TV, no internet, no phone, no mirrors. If no one else could see you, would the number on the scale matter? Or would something else be important? If there were no competitions with anyone, would you still run 5K every day, still trying to get in your 10,000 steps? If you had access to any kind of food, what would your diet look like? It's not about creating a fantasy place where you can eat donuts and cake and never exercise and never have to deal with health issues. Instead, it's about separating your wants and your desires from what the rest of the world tells you so that you can get clear about what you want for yourself. When you really get down to doing for yourself what's in your best interest, not trying to keep up with some Instagram influencer, then you start to move into a place of more realistic expectations. You move into a place of what feels good and right for you, rather than doing things that are against your feelings or overriding your feelings with mental judgments and comparisons and measurements of yourself against others. Only you know where your heart is and what your motivations are for change. But I encourage you to ask yourself the hard questions. Are you trying to release weight because you hate your body and you feel betrayed? Are you eating intuitively so that you can eat whatever you want and feel no guilt? I think it's okay to want to be healthy, and I think it's okay to want to lose weight, and I think those things can be together in the same body working towards the same goals, as long as you're willing to dig underneath the surface, learn to love yourself, and improve your health and wellness at the same time. And it's not easy. It's a learning process. And there's no one right answer to health or wellness or even body positivity. We must learn to listen to what our hearts and our bodies are trying to tell us, and then continue taking daily steps down our paths towards what health looks like for us, ignoring the haters and the shamers. Self-love and weight loss can coexist, but it's not a one-size-fits-all journey. It's personal and it's all you. There's no one number or size that determines if you're healthy. Healthy looks different for everyone. I hope this has been helpful for you today. If you have any questions or just want to talk to me about your opinions and thoughts and feelings about the body positivity movement, I'd love to hear them. You can reach out to me on Facebook at fb.me/Coach Christy R. Hall or at my website, www.christyrhall.com. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.